The spirit of Miami U was Walter Kichefski. In his 56-year association with the University of Miami, the man we knew as Coach Ski embodied all that was good about Hurricane athletics.
He tried to help a lot of people to come to the University of Miami and to make it successful because he was always thankful for what the University of Miami did for him.
He really personified the meaning of the word caring. And he really cared about his players, his coaches, his friends, the people. Without Walt, and of course some other people, but primarily Walt, I mean, the dream of the Hall of Fame, or a Hall of Fame and a Hall of Fame building, would have remained a dream and not the reality that it's become.
Kichefski served his university in so many capacities, whether on the sidelines as a fan or as an administrator, a coach, and beginning all the way back in 1936 as a player. But it was in 1938 that Kichefski and the Hurricanes first went to Gainesville and by a score of 19-7 beat the Gator. A rivalry and a lifelong ideology was born.
The Gator has always been a big game for us ever since the fall of 1938 when I personally played on a football team and went up to fight the Gator. And since then, it's always been the big game here at the University of Miami.
Donnie, I went up there 49 years ago when we played the first football game. And that's where I first began to dislike the Gator a little bit. Then for 30 years, I coached against the Gator, and I got to dislike them a little bit more each year. So it hasn't been a love affair, but it's been fun.
In 1963, when Andy Gustafson stepped down as Hurricanes head coach, Walter hoped it was his turn to lead the Miami program. But when the job went to Georgia Tech assistant Charlie Tate, Kichefski stayed on as coach of defensive ends, where he tutored UM immortal Ted Hendricks. It wasn't until 1970, when Tate suddenly quit 2 games into the season, that Kichefski took over as head coach on an interim basis.
When Walter accepted the job as interim coach, I really feel that he accepted it the way he's always done everything, and that's directly from the heart, knowing that he was taking over almost an impossible situation. The actual fact is we did not have the horses, we did not have the players that year to compete with some of the other teams we played.
After an initial 18-11 victory over Maryland, a 6-game losing streak followed, capped by a 56-16 defeat at Syracuse.
We're battered, we're bruised, and our spirits are down, but you have to bring them back.
This is the first time that you've admitted that spirits are down.
Well, after a game we played up there, they're a little disgusted with themselves, and this is a good sign. And this gives me hope, and I believe that maybe we can get ready for the Gator. Fact is, I know we will get ready for the Gator.
The 32nd annual renewal of the University of Florida, University of Miami Grid Classic. Here at Florida Field, a beautiful day for football today. The temperature right at 75 degrees. The wind out of the northeast between 5 and 10 miles an hour. Sitting down now with the starting lineups in this afternoon's ball game. The voice of the University of Miami Hurricanes at home and away, Sonny Hirsch.
Well, thank you, David, and a very pleasant good afternoon, everybody, from Florida Field and Miami, Florida game. What more can you say?
The Hurricanes moved down the field on the game's opening possession.
Cochran again, second man through. Tom Sullivan turning wide right, 30. Sullivan 35, Sullivan 40, 45, run down out of bounds. Far side of the field at the 48-yard line. Brennan split right, and Schmidt comes wide left. Cochran back in the pocket, has the protection. Kelly firing the bomb, deep for Brennan. Knocked down, interference, 13-yard line. First and 10 for the Hurricanes. All right, David, here we go. 4th and goal at the Gator 1. 4th and goal, Cochran, Sullivan, diving, he got it. Sullivan scores on the 4th and goal.
Then, in the second quarter, Miami threatened again.
Spiral coming down to Burgess Owens at the 47. Burgess at the 45, reverses his direction, cuts to the far side of the field, goes to the 40-yard line, turns the corner, 30, 20, 10, the 5, the 4-yard line. What a run. Great recovery by Burgess Owens.
Miami failed to score, but went in at halftime leading 7-0. Then, on Miami's first possession of the second half.
10 minutes and 1 second left in the third quarter, 7-0 Hurricanes. Draw play, Bobby Best, 35-yard line at the Florida 30. Best on his feet to the Gator 28. The Hurricanes will go for it 4th and 2. They've got to get to the 18. Cochran back, rolling right, throwing. Caught the 10, the 5, down to the 2. Steve gone. Cochran against a 7-man front. Keeps himself, pitches. Mundrick trying to turn the corner. He's got it! Scott Mundrick scores!
But the Gators came back with 2 touchdowns of their own and needed only an extra point to tie the game.
The ball is centered, placed, it's kicked, it's up. No good! Off to the right, no good! Timeout at Florida Field with the score. The Hurricanes 14, the Gators 13.
Then, with time running out, the Hurricanes tried to hold on against one final Florida drive.
4th and 2. Reeves the throw, rolling to his right, throws upfield. Yes, did he catch it or not? He did. John back to throw. Throws up the middle. Jackson catches it at the 38-yard line of Miami at the 37. Florida down by just a point. Reeves is looking, going, deflected, interfered. Reeves back, rolling, going, Curran dropped the ball! Curran dropped the ball at the 5-yard line, and here comes the field goal unit. It all rests on Jim Getson. It'll be a 25-yard field goal attempt. The snap, the placement, the kick is up! The kick is no good! It's off to the left! Getson missed the field goal! Miami will get it back at the 20. The clock shows 15, 14, 13, 12. Listen to the countdown across the way. The Gators cannot stop the clock. Miami has beaten Florida. This ball game is over. A great victory for Walter Kichefski and the Hurricanes. He said, get up for the Gators and eat the Gator meat, and they did it.
That evening, Kichefski and his Hurricanes arrived home at Miami International Airport.
Coach Ski, undoubtedly the biggest win of your career.
Well, this was the sweetest Gator victory of all victories. I had a little sample in 38 of Gator meat, but today it was the sweetest of all. And our football team, I've been with 27 football teams here, never with a team that was so enthusiastic and wanted to win so badly as this football team did today.
I see you got the game ball.
I have the game ball. I'm going to get it painted up. The kids want to sign it, and this is the most precious ball that I've ever gotten.
Today, the game ball from Miami's 14-13 victory over Florida is displayed, fittingly, in the Walter Kichefski Championship lobby of the Tom Kearns Sports Hall of Fame building. Let us hail to the spirit of Walter Kichefski. We will miss him.